Hello everybody, I'm Elwirfy and today I wanted to talk about just the concept of exactly what people do on the internet, because I feel like my content included, I feel like sometimes we get too excited about trying to stir up stuff for clicks. So my wife recently brought to my attention that there's this guy who I guess famously made a bunch of bad false accusations against a YouTuber. Now, obviously, we don't want to tell any falsehood. We always try and back things up with receipts. I always try my best at least to play the clips in question. That way you guys can see things firsthand and make judgments for yourself. That's something I've always tried to do, and that's why, for the most part, I guess you could say my videos are very much so kind of like a news report. They're informative, and they're me giving my takes, again, as a small content creator, just giving my perspective on the situation, and every once in a while I'll try and provide insight, like advice that I would give if I was going to do something like this. But in this particular instance, it would seem that there's nothing I can say. There's nothing that can really be done about fixing what just happened. So let's get into it. If you don't know who this is, this guy right here is called Jake Doolittle. He's a content creator who, again, now listen, I'm not going to be playing the video because I personally am just not very interested in, risking copyright strike or anything like that. But here's the video right here. You can see it. You can see the link up in the left. You can see everything. So you're welcome to go watch this if you'd like. But I watched the whole thing. The whole, or at least the section about them going piece by piece, breaking down exactly why this guy's accusations are false, why they're wrong, and apparently everybody, I guess, was telling this guy to not make videos about H3, I guess, explaining that, he's coming at it with no factual basis. And when you watch the video, you'll see even the receipts that Jake here tries to provide is easily, he proves himself wrong in his own video. It's really bad. Again, this is why I encourage you to watch the full video. That way it's easier for me to provide my own receipts. But in this instance, my receipt will be this video that you guys can go watch. Now, the important thing to remember is that when we're a content creator who do things to try and get views, there's often a lot of different approaches. There's all kinds of different ways you can go about it. But if you're going to do the kind of thing where you talk about events of people doing bad stuff or people doing cringy stuff, I don't know. I just think we could all take a good lesson out of what we saw in this video and see that it's good to make sure that you've really double-checked your work to make sure that you're talking about it. Shoot, I wasn't even going to make a video about this, but my wife kept encouraging me that, hey, this is a good idea, because she was right. This is something that needs to be called out. Just because it's popular or trendy to make videos calling people out doesn't mean that you should be if you can't get your facts straight. Now, here's what I know as of right now. Things can change. Things are always open to interpretation, I'm sure. In this instance, for what I know, it would seem that this guy was claiming to be able to give a diagnosis as to what Ethan had. He thought that Ethan was lying about having lupus, even though Ethan never at any point said directly that he has been diagnosed with lupus. This guy essentially is impersonating a medical professional in trying to diagnose Ethan, as well as he tried his best to make it sound like he had his own disease, which apparently in this video, again, assuming we believe it's true, because again, there's a lot of fact checking that has to go on, but supposedly this guy, Jake, also doesn't have any actual diagnosable chronic illness. So there's just a bunch of falsehoods going around, and frankly, I don't know what to make of this guy, because I don't watch him. I don't know anything about him. But there is something to be said, just like with Jordan the Completionist, this is another guy who apparently is asking for money, and all of his videos are marked as fundraisers. But here's the crazy part. The fundraiser money is actually money that gets donated not through YouTube, which YouTube has a way to set up charities directly. The way that he does it is that he has merch, and then 10% of the merch goes to charity. So that's right, guys. We have another possible charity lie that's going on. Now, I'm not saying he's lying directly. He does tell people that 10% of the sales from the merch go to a charity. However, I do very intentionally want to point out that, honestly, this isn't communicated very well. And the fact that all these videos say fundraiser on them, to me, is kind of a red flag. And again, I'm not saying what he's doing here is as bad as what the completionist did, but I think it's important to do some investigating and make your own judgments. For example, if we go to the community tab here, unless it got deleted, I believe he had made a post about, yeah, he's officially been able to make his fund a charitable organization. All donations are now tax deductible, so this was really big. But if you look, all right, we're gonna go to this link here. We're gonna open link in a new tab. I'll let it load for a sec. So supposedly he's doing all this because he has a disease that, again, allegedly Ethan and Hila and their channel on H3, I guess, found out is not actually a real disease, I guess. So what's interesting is that you can choose an amount to donate, which is great, but if you go to the shop, if you look on the actual website itself, the merch doesn't, at least I can't find anywhere here that says that the merch sale goes, like if we just view details, I don't see anything here that says that that a portion of it goes to charity. Maybe I'm missing something, but if you, like he says it in his videos, at the end of his videos, that only 10% of these sales go to charity. But I've been looking at this website, guys, and I'll admit, yes, there is a charity button, but that's not the point. If you want to donate to actual charity, and if this goes directly to charity, that's fine. That's not the problem. The problem is that he says, that all donations, sure, and it's good. And yeah, he says never stop purchases are not deductible. They're only to raise awareness. But this is such an easy thing to miss. I don't know. To me, it's a thin line, all right? Because there is the possibility that very easily, in my opinion, you could be mistaken for thinking that, his channel is, wrong section. There is the assumption that could be made that all money from his sales go directly to charity, and I wouldn't be surprised if you look at something like this, and you see a donation thing, and then you hit the shop button, and then when you go to shop, if you're just looking to buy merch, there's nothing in the shop page itself that says that it is, not going to charity. And again, I know he says never stop clothing purchases are not deductible and they're only to raise awareness, but at the same time, just because they're not deductible, you could still take that money and donate it to charity. But for the vibe I get, at least the feeling I'm getting, all right? So, I mean, hey, this is a new story to me. Again, I'm still gathering information, but I want to put this out there as quickly as I can to kind of build a baseline here. As of right now, from my understanding, based on what my wife told me, based on what I watched in the H3 podcast, from my understanding, to me at least, especially with how small the text is, I would not be surprised if people have purchased merchandise from this guy thinking the money was going to charity, right? It says fundraiser on all of this. Let's make sure to mute the tab here as we just jump into this video, for example. You can donate to his nonprofit. There's links and the Never Stop clothing line. But it's called the Never Stop Fund. So it's the shop has the same name as the donation. Guys, eventually I'd love to be able to set up an actual donation. I need to be monetized to do that, I think. So that's why we haven't done one yet for charity. Because again, as you know, I have one lung. So I'd love to someday be able to donate to something that helps lung disease. I think that'd be really cool, but I can't do that yet. But I would not be surprised if you see his merch, you see this stuff that people are wearing, and you would think that the clothing is going to the charity to be donated, but it's not. It's absolutely not. It's 100. It's for profit. In fact, I am only giving him the grace period of saying that at least 10% of that money goes to charity, because that's what the H3 podcast here were saying they had discovered. That they had found a quote from him somewhere that 10% of the merch goes to that. But honestly, nowhere in the website does it actually say that. So I think while he's not doing anything shady, he's not frauding anyone, I do just think that his marketing and his branding is very misleading, and I think we should just be wary, especially now because of what happened with the completionist. I think we should be very wary of the way people present donations and the way things are being put out, because I want the best for everyone. All right, I'm not coming after this guy in particular because of some sort of like vendetta, right? I don't know this guy, I don't watch this guy. I'm only finding out about this because of my wife. But I think that, if you're going to post merch and your merch is going to have the same branding as your charity, right? I mean, do we agree that this Never Stop thing is listed as a charity? And then when you go to the shop, whoops, went to 2 links. If you go here, all the merchandise has, these same logos on it. It has the exact same branding. It's all the same stuff. All right? Like on my membership stuff, everything is branded for me, Elwirfy. None of it is indicated as going to a charity, and anything that would be going to a charity, I would want to put directly to be donated through YouTube. I don't want to be collecting or touching any of that money when I eventually am allowed to do a fundraiser for lung disease or maybe scoliosis, something that's important to me, right? There are things I do want to get a charity going for at some point. Maybe a charity stream, maybe not a video. Again, I have to look, I'm working on it, but again, we're not monetized yet, so that's just, we're getting there. But I don't know, doesn't this feel deceptive? Maybe I'm in the wrong too. I'm happy to admit fault, but I feel like I'm being misled when I look at this and I see the merch with the same branding, and just because he says the Nonstop clothing purchases are not deductible doesn't, okay, so you don't get a tax break for it, that doesn't mean you can't donate the money to a charity. And I think that's my biggest gripe. I think that's my biggest issue I have with it. So just be wary, guys. Be mindful. I've been kind of on the hunt looking for other possible charity concerns that could be a bit of an issue. I mean, I already don't trust this guy because, again, in this video, the main controversial video, right? This guy is straight up claiming that he's trying to essentially impersonate a doctor, which is really disappointing to see. So be careful, guys. Be really careful. Be smart. And honestly, I really do hope that we can get some good out of this. If you guys find any other YouTube or content creators that are kind of being misleading with their donations or where the cash flow is going, let me know. I'd love to report on it, update you guys, because we can spread awareness and, again, just help people make smart financial decisions. Because, look, I'm poor. I don't got a lot of money. But, if I am able to donate, I want to make sure my money's going to the right place. And for me, at least, I don't feel comfortable knowing that people are giving money to this guy when the branding is so poor and the communication is so poor that I feel like I could have easily been tricked into thinking that this merchandise is in fact going to charity. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Of course, I've had been trying to make a lot of videos. Just so you know, at the time of recording, we have about a month out of videos already scheduled for daily uploads, so we have a lot coming. These discussion videos are going to be sprinkled in between. If you do want to support me directly, again, not for charity, if you want to support me and help me survive, I do have a Patreon set up. I do also have the membership button, so if you want to help me out, then that'd be great. But again, you don't have to. I'm poor. You guys are probably also having trouble financially, because if you're watching me, that's kind of the content we talk about. But if you can't afford it, anything you can donate would be really appreciated. And to be clear, donating to me, not donating to a charity. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I'm Elwirfy, and I'll definitely see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.